Good morning, all. This is Asma. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the DMCC Member Portal webinar training for September. Let me take you through the agenda for today. We'll start with the visa section, after it the license renewal and amendments, and then the registration amendments, JLT Ensure Direct to Ensure portal, ending it with the value-added services of DMCC. In case you have any questions related to the sessions, kindly use the chat button on the right side of your screen and send us your questions related to this running session. In order to get your questions answered, kindly assure to keep them general. For any specific service request related questions, please go to www.dmcc/helpcenter to submit your inquiry. As all the generic DMCC emails of customer care, business center, dispute center, and compliance are deactivated since 1st of September. After each session, there will be a polling question for you to rate your satisfaction level with that particular session and trainer. You can download the handouts for the session from the handout section until the end of this webinar. If you were not able to download the handout for any reason, a copy of the handout will be shared with you on the registered email used in this webinar. Thank you once again for joining us. Let's start our sessions with the first trainer, Dara.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dara from Member Success Team, County Number 1. Today, Melin will be taking us through the visa services in DMCC. Good morning, everyone. Melin will be now starting with the slides. Please, if you have any questions, keep it general and keep towards the end of Melin's session. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Maylene from counter number 2 of Member Success. Now we're going to start discussing about the visa services of the DMCC. This would include discussing about new visa processes, visa renewal process, visa cancellation, transfer of visa to DMCC and from DMCC, Emirates ID typing, medical typing, increase of visa quota request, appointment of company's coordinator, business visit visa, card and access services, and a new courier related information. We'll be discussing it. Now for the new visa application, this is how your portal would look like. And on the left-hand side, you'd have to choose employee services. Under employee services, you'd have to go to visa services, employee residence visa permits, and apply new. When you click on that, application would show up. All the details here showing in red would have to be completed and filled in completely. Okay. Whatever information you'll be filling in here as the job title of the applicant, the details of their salary and accommodation allowances, this would be the details that would be generated on the employment contract. Now on the part where employee e-signature details, you have to make sure that that's the employee email address that you're entering in here, and an employee mobile number. Make sure that it is working, because if you are selecting a different phone number for the employee and it's not going to be working, you'd have to make changes later on. And the newly introduced here, not so new anymore, but this is here as employment contract template. There's an option for you to select DMCC standard contract. If you have any amendment of contract that you've requested DMCC to approve through our mediation team, you can also choose that. And company owned contract, you can select that now. Now the employment contract type, this is limited or unlimited. That is if you're selecting DMCC standard contract. On this side, this is additional job details. This is not required for the company-owned contract. For the additional job details, this is not required if you are selecting company-owned contract in here. And special employment terms and condition, this is optional for you too. If you'd like to select or have an undertaking of non-competition for your employees. Now in here, you would see, this is again on the application, you would see employee existing visa details. This is where you have to input whether the employee is inside of the country or outside of the country. Make sure that you're selecting the correct status of the employee. If you're applying for someone who's on visit visa, you have to select inside of the country. And on this side, you would have to input or select which type of visa the person is having. Either the person is inside of the country on a cancel visa, if the person is inside of the country on a tourist visa, if the person is inside of the country having a valid visa still because the employee would want to have to hold his family. Those are the options you would find here. For visa amendment here, this is an optional one. This is if someone is inside of the country and you don't want the person to exit the country, you can select visa amendment, but make sure that upon receiving the employment visa, you come to DMCC, provide us the original passport. In this part, I agree. This is the disclaimer, which is required for you to make sure that you checked before submitting. Make sure that you have read all this, which actually says that all the information that you have provided are accurate, true, and complete. So that means that whatever you're going to input in here and you submit the application and you come to DMCC for any changes of the salary, for example, we will not be able to do that. Instead, you would have to cancel the application and raise a new one with the correct details. Okay, some important notes on the new visa process. Member can select priority service while applying for new residence visa. That is an option while you fill the application. You would see that on the first slide. Priority service is a paid service with applicable charge. You can visit DMCC website for all these updated fees of DMCC. Also, please note that the priority service is only applicable on the visa stamping stage. Delivery of the passport. Please note that now delivery for any physical office clients and FlexiDesk office will be done through Aramex only. There won't be any passport that will be allowed to be collected from the DMCC counters or the reception. After you've filled in the application, make sure that you click Save, and then the This SR document would appear and you would have to click download, upload, review document. Make sure that you upload the required documents in here. Completed. Highest educational certificate requirement. This would be based on the designation that you are selecting during the application. So once you've uploaded all the required documents, make sure you click submit button, you pay the amount, and you confirm that so that DMCC will be receiving your application and start the process of verifying it and processing and typing the application submit to immigration. Now, these are new visa process important notes. As for the entry permit, once you have confirmed the payment and application is submitted online, you will be receiving a notification as confirmation that DMCC has started, and you may follow up the status online by using the service request number. DMCC will be issuing an electronic permit after immigration have approved it, which will be valid just for 2 months. The electronic visa will be automatically be uploaded on the SR document, wherein you can see that on the SR application. If you have applied for inside or outside the country with or without amendment, make sure that you submit documents to us too. The passport, the original passport, I mean, if it's with change status. If you're applying for outside of the country, make sure you give the employee a copy of the electronic visa, and that employee will have to enter the UAE using the DMCC issued electronic permit. If you have applied for inside of the country but you've selected no change status or without amendment, the employee can have the electronic visa copy. You ask the employee to exit the country and re-enter on the employment visa. This is also called airport change or visa change for some. Now, another important note is the passport validity. Passport validity before you apply for any employment visa should be minimum of 6 months. Now, some important notes for our visa stamping. It's only the company appointed coordinator. That person can only submit to the DMCC counter all original passport and all documents to start the visa processing. The residence visa that you're going to have on your passport will be valid for 3 years. Passport and DMCC card, once issued, will be delivered only again via RMX, even if whether the client have physical office or flexi office. There won't be over-the-counter collection anymore. Make sure that the e-sign procedure has been completed before you come over and submit document for visa stamping. Please ensure that the employment contract details are correct and accessible. Employee will be required, if in case that you've selected for them to come over to sign the contract in the counter, make sure that they carry the same mobile number that you've entered on the application for their e-signing process. Now, moving on to visa renewal process. This is where you can find the application. You have to go to Employee Services, Visa Services, Employee Residence Visa Permit, and Renew Existing. This is how the application would look like when you select that application. Make sure that all these details have been filled in correctly and completed, including the health insurance. You can save the application, and once it's saved, once more, the system would have the document that will be required for uploading. Make sure you have the complete set of document that would include the medical result, new Emirates ID typed form with Emirates ID authority stamp if required, plus a valid health insurance. Make sure the health insurance during submission is still valid for more than 1 month. Some visa renewal process important notes. Once you've made the payment, application is submitted online. Original passport can be handed over to DMCC, including all the other required documents. DMCC member can follow up status online by the service request. If an employee would like to follow up his or her visa status without logging in onto the portal, we have the visa status checker on our website. Just go to www.dmcc.ae, go to support, and select visa status checker. Passport and DMCC ID card will be delivered by Aramex, whether company is having a physical office or a flexi desk. If you have applied for medical typing and Emirates ID registration form typing together with the application, you will have DMCC type the medical form first, and then we will be typing the Emirates ID form after you submit the original documents to us. That would require original passport and copy or original of the old Emirates ID. DMCC will internally process the visa renewal process once Emirates ID typing is done, if in case that there won't be any biometric that will be required by Emirates ID authority for the applicant to do. The renewed residence visa stamp on the passport will be valid for another 3 years. Again, there won't be any passport that will be allowed to be collected from DMCC reception or DMCC counters. Moving on to our visa cancellation process. It's again on employee services, visa services, employee residence permit, select cancel existing. Again, fill in the application correctly. This is where you have to make sure you select the correct status of the employee, whether they're inside of the country or outside of the country. Please make sure you have selected priority service if you require us to prioritize the application. Please note that priority service is a paid service. As for the price line, you can visit our website to check the updated price line. Once cancellation is finished, passport will be delivered via Aramex to physical office and to requested address if the company is having a flexi office. There won't be any passport allowed to be collected from the reception or from the DMCC counters. This is how the application would look like. So you would just have to make sure that you filled in all the details. The details here, the due salary payment, this has to be filled by you. It's not going to be automatically calculated by the DMCC system. Employee e-signature details. This is also the same as the details that you have to input when you're applying for a new visa. So since visa cancellation would have an end of service document to be signed by employer and employee, you also have to make sure that you're entering the correct employee email address and the employee mobile number. If in case that the basic salary of your employee is below 5,000 or equal to 5,000, unfortunately, the method of e-signing of employee cannot be selected as via email. You would be prompted by the system. You're going to have an error like this, prompting you to select applicant to sign end of service via the DMCC counter. Some important notes on the visa cancellation process. If it's an inside of the country application, e-signature procedure is digital. If employee salary is equal or more than 5,000, employer can choose to sign between e-signing via email or choose in-person signing. It's up to the company what they would like to select as method of e-signing for those over 5,000 salary. But if in case the employee has less than 5,000 salary, employee needs to visit the DMCC counter and sign the end of service through us at the counter. But make sure before the employee comes over, make sure that the HR signatory already signed the end of service. So please ensure employee contact details are correct and accessible. Employee will be required to carry the same mobile number that you have entered on the application for them to do the e-signing process. We will be sending an OTP code to the applicant before we proceed with signing process. For family holding, if an employee that you're canceling has family, you have to make sure that the employee and the family's visa are valid for more than 3 months. Otherwise, immigration will not accept any holding of family. Now, there would be an additional requirement for an employee if he would like to hold the family. If in case that he's moving to an LLC company, additional to the passport and e-signing of end of service, he needs to bring copy of Ejari, contract copy from the new company, pre-approval from GDRFA or immigration. Now, if he's moving to another Dubai free zone, not any other free zone, he needs to bring copy of Ejari, contract copy, and NOC from the new free zone authority. For outside of the country cancellation, original passport is required to be submitted at the DMCC counter if the applicant is outside of the country less than 6 months. But we will not be requiring original passport if the application is outside of the country in case that the visa of the applicant has expired, but he's outside of the country less than 6 months. So once again, no original passport will be required if they have been outside of the country more than 6 months. But if less than 6 months, we would be requiring the passport. No passport is required for those whose visa has expired less than 6 months. Now for the checking of the visa status, cancellation status, you can check that from our website as well by visiting DMCC, www.dmcc.ae, go to support, select visa status checker. Employees can also check their visa status by going in here, typing the SR number and their passport numbers. We move on now to the visa transfer process. There would be 2 options for visa transfer process. Either employee is coming to DMCC from other free zone or hotels or government, and other application is for transfer of employee from DMCC. This is releasing the employee from the DMCC company. When you select Employee Services and go to Visa Services, go to Transfer and select the required application. Visa transfer is applicable only within Dubai free zones, governments, between DMCC companies, banks, and hotels, subject to immigration approval. The passport and residence visa should be valid for minimum of 3 months. Employee must get NOC from its transfer company. This is how the application for transfer to DMCC looks like. Make sure that all the details are filled, especially those that are highlighted in red. Visa transfer to DMCC, output, so transfer form. When you filled in the application, submit the application, upload the required documents on the system, DMCC receives your application, we verify it. The output of that will be a transfer form. So once the payment is confirmed, you'll also be receiving a notification from DMCC to provide you with status of the application. What's the progress of the application? When you submit the application, by the way, the HR signatory will immediately receive a link for the contract to be signed. So make sure that contract is signed by both parties before we even verify the application. Now, the transfer form that we'll be issuing will be valid for 90 days from the issuance date. It's only company coordinator who can approach our reception for the collection. Once you receive the transfer form from the DMCC, if you're transferring an employee from another free zone, make sure that you approach the previous authority to get their signature and stamp. That also means that you would have to make the release sign out from the other free zone authority. Now, for visa stamping of an application for transfer, it's only the appointed company coordinator who is allowed to submit all document, transfer form along with original passport and other required documents. The validity of the visa that would be issued by DMCC will be valid for 3 years. Once the stamping is finished, DMCC will be sending the passport along with DMCC ID card via Aramex to all the clients who have physical office and FlexiDesk. Over-the-counter collections will not be allowed. This is the second option for transfer application. Visa transfer from DMCC. This is basically releasing the person from your DMCC company. If you've selected that, this is how the form would look like. You have to make sure that you filled in all the details, selecting if the person have resigned, been terminated, or just canceled mutually between two parties. Once payment is confirmed, when you submit the application online, you will again be receiving a notification as a confirmation. Prepare all original document and approach DMCC counter to submit originals and start the process. Ensure HR e-sign and employee e-sign are completed. Since this is a release sign out from DMCC, you will have to come over with the original transfer form. We will be signing and stamping that for you and updating the application until verification and approval. Please note that company are not required to stamp transfer forms. It's only free zone authorities who have to stamp that. So if you're coming over from another free zone, for example, within Dubai, and you have stamped it by the company, you would have to request the free zone authority again to provide you with a fresh one, because DMCC will not be stamping anything with your company stamp. For the company to receive the visa guarantee back, once employee gets the new visa, you'll be required to upload a copy of that on the same application. We will also be removing the employee's name on the system by the time that we receive the copy of the new passport. Visa deposit will anyway be refunded on the company portal account. Let's move on to Emirates ID typing. Emirates ID typing, this service allows member to request DMCC to type the Emirates ID registration form for you. This can be a part of the application that you're filling on the system. This is available for an application for new employment visa, visa renewal, and visa transfer. Or it can also be applied as a standalone service on the DMCC portal. DMCC will type the application for the member once client submits the original passport, photo, copy of old Emirates ID, along with original visa with entry stamp, or in case of transfer, bring the original transfer form with signature of both free zone authorities. Once Emirates ID form is typed, it would be uploaded on the same service request, the main application for the employee, so that you can download and print it. If in case the application shows that biometrics will be required, as mentioned on the application, please ask the applicant to approach Emirates ID Authority. Where you can select a standalone application for Emirates ID in case that you've forgotten to select that during the application for employment visa or transfer visa. You would have to go to Employee Services, go to Visa Services, Employee Residence Permit Visa, and Emirates ID typing. Once application is submitted on the system as a standalone service, you are required to submit the original documents at DMCC client service counters. These are the documents that I mentioned earlier. That's the original passport, copy of the previous or original Emirates ID card, original passport size photo, and the original entry permit with the entry stamp. Or if it's a transfer application, bring in the original transfer form with both Free Zone Authority stamp. Emirates ID application would be a very simple application. If you select that and it's a standalone application, you would have to just link in the main application for the employee. You just have to select this, type in the SR number, and select that. Once you selected that and paid for it, when you give us the original documents and we tap the Emirates ID form, you will be receiving a confirmation from DMCC, and we will also be uploading that on the main application of the employee. You would see in here that would be uploaded on the SR documents. Medical fitness certificate typing. Where can you apply for medical fitness? Selected Employment Visa Services includes the option to type medical fitness application within the Visa Services through the DMCC portal. You can select that while filling an application for a new employment residence visa. You can also select that while filling an application for employer residence visa renewal and transfer visa to the DMCC. Some important notes here. Employer needs to ensure that the residence visa is valid for at least 3 working days more before you apply. Employee will receive a confirmation notification once the medical is uploaded, once we type the application already. You can select the medical fitness certificate to be typed through DMCC. The option for medical typing as a standalone service can be seen or can be selected from Employee Services, Visa Services, Employee Residence Permit Visa, and then Medical Fitness Request Typing. Again, it's a very simple application here. You would have to link the main SR of the applicant, whether it's a transfer application or new visa, or for renewal, there's no link anyway. But for both new visa and transfer visa, you can link the main reference number for their application. There's also some options here of type of application. If you would require normal process, that would be 3 to 5 working days before DHA would be issuing the result to the employee. Urgent services, 24 hours. There's also another urgent services, 48 hours that can be selected, or VIP service, which would be issued within 3 to 5 hours from DHA. Since you've linked the request to the main application of the employee, once we type the medical form, you would also be seeing that on the SR document. We'll also be uploading it here on the main SR documents of the main application. You will also be receiving a notification email too. After the member receives the medical result, you would be required to upload the copy of the result on the same service request. This one is the form that we've uploaded for you, and this is the form that you have to upload once you receive the medical fitness report from DHA. Once uploading is done from member side, they need to submit the original documents over DMCC counter to proceed with the residence visa stamping. Another topic that we're going to discuss is the increase of visa quota. DMCC company can request for an increase of its visa quota beyond its standard eligibility by submitting an application online, which is called Apply for Exceptional Visa Quota. Approval of this request is subject to DMCC management, which is based on DMCC free zone policies. You can find the application out by selecting Employee Services. Under Visa Services, you'd see Increase of Visa Quota and Apply for Exceptional Visa Quota. On this application for additional visa quota, you would have to provide us with justification. Since the application would go to DMCC management, make sure that you explain your requirement. Moving on to appointment of company coordinator. A company appointed coordinator is the authorized person to represent his or her company to visit DMCC, inquire, collect, submit official company documents at DMCC service counters. Company can appoint, renew, or revoke its appointment, or update the company coordinator details, email, and mobile number with just one click by applying online without having to visit DMCC counter for submission of any original documents. Some important notes here. Appointing a company coordinator for member company is a mandatory service and will be prerequisite in the future to receive or hand over any company original documents through courier or over the counter. The application fee will be blocked after the SR is submitted and will be consumed only after the SR is approved. The service fee will be refunded in cases of a rejection of the application or cancellation before the DMCC approval. Authorization must be on the company's letterhead, stamped and signed by the authorized signatory only. That means that's only coming from the company shareholder, director, manager, legal representative, or a POA holder. An appointed company coordinator can also be selected as a recipient of passport delivery for clients who are having FlexiDesk offices. So it is really very important that you appoint a company coordinator, especially if the owners of the company or any of its officers are not in Dubai. At least someone can receive their passport because, as you know, DMCC will not be handing over any passport from the counter or from the DMCC reception. Now, these are the required documents that would be, this one are the required documents based on the service request type. We have two types of application or appointment of coordinator. It can be someone who's under the visa of the company who has a valid CEC, or someone who is under husband's or father's sponsorship who has a valid PIC. Now, required documents for those who's under the company visa or PIC holders are their photo, the company coordinator appointed photo, copy of their passport and visa page, both sides of their Emirates ID, and an authorization letter coming from the authorized signatories of the company. A company can also appoint a coordinator consultant or a consulting company. The required documents would be the consultant photos, copy of the passport visa page of that consultant appointed, Emirates ID, both sides, appointment letter from the authorized person again of the company, and its trade license copy. If you are revoking a company coordinator or updating its email address or phone number, there won't be any required documents. This is where you can see the validity of an appointed coordinator. If you're appointing an existing employee or someone who has a PIC, the authorization will be valid until its visa validity or until the PIC validity of the person appointed. If you have appointed an existing consultant, company consultant, You can also select, it's up to you, whether to select how many months you would like them to be appointed, but maximum of 2 years only. This is how you can apply for a company coordinator service request. There will be 4 types of applications that you can select under company coordinator. It's appointing a new company coordinator, renewing its company coordinator, revoking their appointment, or applying or updating their details, email address, and phone number. Under company services, you'd find company coordinator, and these are the options. This is how the application would look like. Appointment of new coordinator. Again, earlier we've discussed there are 2 options. Either you apply or authorize an employee, whether they're having CEC or PIC, or if you are appointing a company coordinator as a consulting company, you can select that from here. We already have a list here, a drop-down list where you can select. You have to fill in all the details as required here. Photo of the person appointed will have to be uploaded here. You also have to make sure that you select I agree here and make sure that you read the terms and conditions. You also have to enter the correspondence details, email and phone number of the appointed person. You have to click Save, upload the required documents on the SR document by clicking on Download, Upload, Review Document, and then Submit. The output of the company coordinator, once verified and approved by DMCC, would be on the same application. Under SR document, you can download an electronic copy of the approval. Now we move to the business visit visa process. You can apply for it by selecting Employee Services. You'd find it under Visa Services, Business Visitor Visa, and then Apply New. This is how the application would look like. And again, make sure that you fill in all the details, important details. These are some important notes for while applying for business visit visa. Once you've done with the payment and it's confirmed and application is submitted online, you will receive a notification from the DMCC saying that it is on process. But please note that this is only for business reasons only. The DMCC will be issuing electronic visit visa, which will only be valid for 1 month. Please take note that this is not renewable. If the member doesn't have an immigration file open yet, DMCC will open a file for you. There will be some charges applicable as well before we continue with the visa process. Next slide would be Card and Access Services introduction. Employment cards are issued to the sponsored employee who holds an employee resident stamped visa. These cards may be requested from time to time by various authorities to prove that the individual is authorized to work in the DMCC-free zone or in the UAE. Identity cards and access approval are an alternate way for an individual to become an authorized person to perform services for a company without being sponsored directly by the company. Identity cards are for those who's under husband sponsorship or father sponsorship, or those who are from a company or a sister company or a group of companies with the same shareholder. Identity card is only for female employees. Please take note of that. Now, the validity of a PIC that we'll be issuing is valid only for 1 year. You can renew that as well or cancel it after a while. As for the access approval, if the candidate is on a sister company or a parent company visa or a group of company visa within UAE, when you submit the application, that would be subject to the DMCC management's approval. Validity that you can select during the application would be 1 month, 3 months, or 12 months. Employment card. If in case that you lose the DMCC ID card, you can apply for the replacement of employment card. The validity would be linked to the visa expiry date. It's just going to be a duplicate card of your DMCC card that you've lost. Where to find, or this is how your portal would look like, or this is where you can apply for PIC or access approvals. You go under Employee Services, you go to Card and Access Services, and these are your options. So once more, as for the ID card, employment card, these are the issued card by DMCC if an employee is having a visa under the DMCC company. So if you lost that, this is the only option that you have. You can apply for replacement. If access approvals, these are for those who's under the visa of a sister company. Your options are to renew it, to apply for new, to renew it, or to cancel it. The same as for the identity cards, which can be applied for those under husband's or father's sponsorship, female employees only. The last topic that we're going to be discussing is the new courier-related information. As you know, courier delivery for any document, visa-related document of DMCC or new company establishment card request will be processed for all members at a fixed charge depending on whether members are on a business center, FlexiDesk, or non-FlexiDesk, or physical office. There's no option anymore for any over-the-counter collection, except if members are not able to collect from the courier driver. Members will only have the option of all courier being delivered to the chosen address against a fixed charge. In the event of an over-the-counter, courier charge will not be refunded, and the courier can only be picked up by the recipient chosen during the application of the SR. Business Center members have the option to choose couriers to be delivered to any location within the UAE. Courier agent will be contacting the recipient selected on the SR and the time of delivery. The recipient is required to present a valid UAE ID to be verified and to complete the delivery process. Please note that the courier will only be delivering to the selected recipient of the SR. That's why I mentioned earlier, since a company coordinator appointment is also one of recipient that can be selected for any delivery, it's very important that you have another option of recipient. In case of FlexiDesk courier deliveries, if the location chosen is outside the DMCC free zone, the courier document will be directly processed through Aramex head office in Dubai and not from DMCC. In such cases, client companies won't be able to collect it anymore from DMCC. Once shipment is returned to DMCC due to failed attempts, 3 attempts of delivery, recipient has to bring an authorization with justification letter to the client service center. Charges that will be implemented for courier services. As per the new process, during the submission stage before the payment confirmation of the impacted service request, you would notice there is a new button named Select Recipient. Upon clicking, a field will appear whereby client must select the recipient to whom the courier will be delivered. On selecting the recipient, for non-business center or those who have a physical office, the address details will be pre-selected as the company office address, and the member will only be able to select the preferred courier time and type in the recipient email address and mobile number, in case there are any changes to the mobile and email pre-selected by the system. For those who's having business center or FlexiDesk offices, the address detail must be entered manually for any location based in the UAE, along with the preferred emirate, courier time, recipient email address, and mobile number. Once the details have been entered, The member must click Select to return the page back to the service request for the submission. Member can select the selected recipient with address details in the addresses selection of the SR. Now in here, this would be the charges of delivery charges that you would see added on the price line of each application. Anyone who's having a FlexiDesk or a business center, they can choose any address within the UAE. Service charge for that would be 30 dirhams plus 5% VAT. So that in total of 3150 dirhams. For non-business center or for those who's having physical office, delivery address would be their registered address as per the license, and the courier charge would be 20 dirhams plus 5% VAT, which is 1 dirham. So that's totaling to 21 dirhams. And that's the end of our session for the visa services process. Thank you once again. And please make sure that you participate in the polling session. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening. Before we proceed to our next session, kindly participate in the polling questions to rate your satisfaction level. Each question has a minute to be started, and I'll be starting now the first question to rate your satisfaction level with Mylene's knowledge and skills. Please rate your satisfaction level. This will help us in improving our webinar, the content-wise, the presentation-wise, to help you and provide you a better experience for the next times. Please be rating your satisfaction level for the next 1 minute. Please keep voting and share your satisfaction level for Mylene's knowledge provided in her content, so we'll be able to provide a better experience next time. The polling is still running, so please be sharing your ratings for another 30 seconds. Please keep sharing your ratings for the last 10 seconds. I'll be closing it in the next 5 seconds, please. So keep sharing your ratings for the first session. Thank you for sharing your ratings. Mylene is available now to ask all your to answer all your questions asked for her session. Meanwhile, we'll be proceeding to our next session, license renewal and amendments, trained by my colleague Ayat. So please have the attention, and once the session ends, all your questions will be answered during the session and after it. And if you have, please ask the general questions. If you have any specific or detailed question related to any of your SR submitted or to be submitted, please raise those queries and cases on DMCC Help Center by logging into your portal account, and there's it there as all the DMCC generic emails were deactivated since 1st of September. So I'll now hand it to my colleague Ayat to start her session, and thank you. Dear members, my apologies. There is a second rating poll to rate Mylene's presentation. So please take a minute before we proceed to our next session. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your ratings for Mylene. Now we'll proceed to our next session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ayat, and we will today attend license renewal and amendments. We have here some important notes. Please pay attention to the following. Before applying for license renewal, make sure below requirements are met. For companies with regulated activities, before applying for license renewal, the company must apply first to proceed with the renewal of the third-party no objection certificate, which is the NOC. Through the service request 196, apply to submit third-party approvals for regulated activities, where this service request will remain open until the company uploads a valid NOC into the same service request. Companies on locations that requires OFC must apply separately for the OFC renewal through a service request required, which is 509 Annual Operation Fitness Certificate process before applying for the license renewal. As you all know that the OFC is proceeded through Concordia. So you need first to apply online, and the Concordia of course will help you to get the OFC certificate. For subsidiaries, joint ventures, and branches, certificate of good standing must be submitted separately through a new service request titled 198 Submission of Certificate of Good Standing for the parent company. Before applying for the license renewal, please note that current dated certificate of good standing is required to be submitted every 2 years now. Of course, if you have more than one license, you need to make sure that you are selecting the correct license you need to renew. You will choose the term of renewal if applicable, which is 1 or 2 or 3 years, and only 1 year it's applicable for the retailers. 2 years and 3 years are not applicable for the retailers. As you know now, the IJARI certificate is required, so you will need to enter the IJARI number. Of course, it's not required for the Flexi Desk, DMCC Business Center, non-DMCC Business Center, common areas, plots, shared units, and the Trading Center, where lease documents will be only uploaded. Then you need to take the insurance declaration statement that applies. The member company will have to upload the tenancy contract and the title deeds or certificate of ownership from the developer, common areas, plots, shared units, and trading center and owner association. If the company applies for 2 or 3 years license renewal, there will be a discount. 5% if the license is renewed for 2 years, 10% if the license renewed for 3 years. And like we mentioned, it's not applicable for industrials, retailers, whether it was activity or space, plots, and also ownerships for the owner association. For the late penalty, of course, if you exceed the license expiry date, there will be penalty imposed under your company. So late license renewal will result into penalty fees as follows. For the first month, 2,520. Of course, as you know, if the license is expired, the license and the related services will be suspended. So for first month, 2,520. Second month, 5,020. Third month, 7,520. And if you exceeded the third month, the license will be subject for the termination from DMCC here. Like we mentioned, the company is sanctioned and all activities and services related to the company. For the NOC request letter related to the license activities, some companies have activities that requires NOC from third party. So this is here how it's going to be shown to you how to apply for this NOC. If the member company holds activities that requires non-objection certificate, which is the NOC from different regulating authorities, the company has the option to tick a checkbox of all the applicable NOC request letter that they need to submit to third-party authority in the same service request. If one of the NOCs is still valid, then it's not required, of course, to tick it. Charges will be applied according to the number of requests NOCs request letters. The company portal account will be auto-sanctioned if the submission of the third-party no objection certificate is not completed before its expiry date. Member companies with regulated activities cannot proceed to renew their license unless they have applied and completed their NOC service request. Here, we're going to show you how you apply online through the portal. You will go, of course, for company services. You will go licensing services list, NOC request to third party, Arabic, apply to submit third party approvals regulated activities. Here you will find the license details. Like we mentioned, if you have more than one license, make sure you select the correct license number. So the license number here in this box you will select, then click on next. You will find about this page that your activities which requires the NOC here. For example, car rental on your left hand here, this activity name, and it requires here NOC. So you will find it here mentioned yes, etc. If it doesn't require, you will mention no. If it requires, it will mention yes. So the NOC details will choose the activity that you related to your license, and you can also choose multiple regulated activities to renew on the same SR. And each activity require NOC will be charged, of course, and the total amount will be showing on the price line. So here you will choose, for example, if you have two NOCs required, you will select two here. You click on apply for NOC, then save and proceed. After choosing the activity which requires the NOC, please click on finalize and submit the service request. It will be moved to the confirmation page in order to confirm the payment. You confirm the payment here. If you have chosen multiple activity, the amount, of course, of the NOC will be calculated. After you confirm the payment, it will be showing under My Actions here as the SR is still open. Once the SR approved from DMCC, you will download the NOC and approach the authority to get the NOC from them. Once it is issued, you need to upload the NOC from the regulated authority on the same SR. It will show here, you open the SR and you will go to download, upload, review doc in order to upload the NOC after you receive it from the regulator. So click on download, upload, review doc. It will be open the page. You will find the option on your left hand to upload. Click on upload and it will be showing like below. Of course, the NOC will come to our concerned department in order to verify, and the SR will be closed after that. Next step is the OFC, which is the Annual Operational Fitness Certificate from Concordia, whether it's AOFC or RAOFC. All member companies except members on FlexiDesk, Business Center, and Dubai Tea Trading Center, which is DTTC units, are required to have a valid operation fitness certificate from Concordia in order to operate. Concordia handles the process of the operational fitness certificate issuance. Licensed companies occupying FlexiDesk or serviced business center offices are not required to submit OFC. Member companies who need to renew their OFC cannot proceed to renew their license unless, of course, they have applied and completed the renewal of the Operation Fitness Certificate service request. For industrial license, the member company must apply for the renewal of the AOFC on the portal and make the payment. The appointment third-party vendor will contact the company for the submission of the required documents. For retail activities, retail space, and industrial license, the operational fitness certificate will be required annually. For physical office space, the OFC will be required every 2 years. Companies with expired OFC will have their account sanctioned and all company services will be suspended. Now, how to apply online for the OFC? You will go to Company Services, Licensing Services List, Renew Operational Fitness Certificate OFC. You will find only one option, Application Renew Operational Fitness Certificate OFC. Like we said, if you have multiple licenses, make sure you choose the correct license number, then click on Next. This is how it's gonna to be showing. You need to upload the fill the required details. Then you need to click on save and to proceed. And of course, don't forget to mention the notification details, your email and your mobile number to receive the notification if we require any more information or if the SR is closed. You will receive the notification through this information that you put. Now you will put here upload some required documents that will be required here. You go to download upload review doc. You will upload the required documents, and after that you will find under the SR price item the amount that you need to pay. After you upload the required documents, you click on submit in order to submit the SR and confirm the payment. It will be moved to the page of the payment. Of course, like we mentioned, here you'll find the amount. You confirm the payment here, and for the industrial license, payment will be made on DMCC. However, for the offices and the retailers, payment will be made to Concordia directly. After the SR will be closed, it will be a valid OFC under the system. So you can proceed now with the next step for the certificate of good standing, that in case your company is owned by a parent company. Certificate of good standing submission process. Member companies that are subsidiaries, branches, or joint ventures are required to submit every 2 years to DMCC a proof that the parent company is still active and is in a good standing position. This service request is free of charge. Member companies or that are due to submit their parent company certificate of good standing cannot proceed to renew their license unless they have first raised and completed this apply to submit the certificate of good standing for the parent company SR. The parent company good standing document should reflect the same company name and details as per DMCC records. In case the information is not matching with DMCC records, the company will be requested to apply for the following. In case of branches, apply for 105, apply to change parent company's name and domicile. In case of subsidiaries, joint ventures, apply for 950, change of shareholder and officer's name, nationality, address on legal document. If a company provides a link to verify the parent company information of company registry, the link should not require payment or username and password. Now, how to apply for the certificate of good standing online? You will go to Company Services, Licensing Services list. You will find Apply to Submit Certificate of Good Standing for Parent Company, and it has only one option with the same Apply to Submit Certificate of Good Standing for the parent company. Once you click there, the SR will be opened for you here. And as you can see, there are many sections here that is required from your side. You have two options: upload the document or online registry URL, the online link. For the online, make sure that the website is free of charges like we said, and it doesn't require any username, password, or any charges to view the document. So here for the first option, parent company details, you have here country of issue, which is the country of the issue of the parent company. Issuing authority name, also of the parent company. Where did you get the certificate of good standing from? Registry or license number, it's the license number of the parent company. If you're gonna to choose the online registry, you need to tick the box, and you will mention here the online link that doesn't require any username or password on it charges. Then you click on I agree, and you will put your email and mobile number in order to receive the notification, and click on save to save the SR. After you make sure to fill all the required details for the authority name, registration license number, also has to be for the parent company like we mentioned. After saving the application, upload the required documents. Of course, the required documents will be under the section of the SR documents here. You click on download upload review doc to upload the certificate of good standing. After that, you click on submit and confirm the payment. Like we mentioned, you just need to confirm there is no payment. It's a free of charges SR. After that, the SR, once you submit, our team will view the document in order to verify and close the SR. Then the certificate of good standing will be valid for 2 years for the companies under our system. Now we will be ready for the license renewal process. How to apply for the license renewal? You will go to Company Services. You will go for Licensing Services list, License Renewal, Renew License. You will choose here the license number in case that you have more than one license. Then you click on Next. After you click on Next, you will find here all details that are required, which is the IJARI certificate number that is required for most of the companies except for the FlexiDesk and for the service desk like we mentioned before. So make sure to fill out the required fields and write correct IJARI number, 16 digits. If you have multiple unit, you add in the same IJARI's box, separate them by, of course, by comma. Or you can upload the document directly, but it will be easier for you to just mention the numbers. Make sure to enter your correspondence details here to receive the notification, email address, and mobile number. You'll have the next section is the insurance details. As you know now, we don't require any insurance documents to be uploaded on the SR anymore, but just to keep the documents with you in the office in case any inspection from DMCC approach your office. So here you will select only the proper choose for the insurance, for the third-party insurance, and for the workman compensation insurance. If you have any NOC that is required from a regulated authority, it will be showing here down. Make sure before submitting the SR, like we said, that you have renewed your NOC, if you have any, of course. Then click on Save and Proceed. Of course, the amount will be showing under the SR price item. So for companies, another scenario, of course, for companies who have sharing offices or plots or business center, you don't have to upload IJARI certificate. You will have the option to upload the tenancy contract and add any extra document as miscellaneous. After you upload the required documents, if you have any, you are gonna to here see the amount under the price line. After that, click on Finalize in order to submit your request. Finalize license here. You click on Submit. It will be moved to the next page, which is showing the amount. Here, for the license renewal charges, you click on Confirm to confirm the payment. And after you confirm, the SR will gonna to be verified by our licensing team in order to generate the license. Of course, if everything is okay on the SR and all documents are correct. Now we're moving to the next step, which is amendment of the company. In case that you would like to amend the company by adding or removing activities. So there are some points you need to pay attention to. Activity code. For each license, you have until 6 activities in the same division. Activity code beginning with the same first 2 digits. For example, 50 can be included in the fees of 20,000 annually. Additional activities over 6 activities beginning with the same first 2 digits, 50 for example, can be added for the fees 1,535 as per activity annually. Additional activities that begins with the same first 1 digit, 51 for example, you have 50 for example, and you would like to add 51. It can be added for the fees of 10,000 annually, and this allows up to 6 activities from the same new activity divisions. Additional activities that begins with completely different first 2 digits. For example, you have 50 and you would like to add 74. So it's a totally different code. It can be added for the fees about 20,000 annually, and this will allow you for 6 activities from that same new activity division. Any activities that are from different license type, service, trading, or industrial, will require a new license at the fees of 20,000 annually, regardless of the code. Of course, a different pricing for industrial license would apply because industrial license has different amounts. So for example, if you have a service license and you would like to add a trading license, it will be additional license for you for 20,000 annually in order to renew upon the expiry date. Now, how to apply for the change of the activity through the online portal. You will go to Company Services, you will go to Licensing Services, Amendments, Amend Existing. After you click on Amend Existing, you will find here the service request details that you need to fill out. First thing you are gonna to do is to click on Review Amend Activities. Review Amend Activities, it means that you are gonna to add or to remove activities to your license. You are gonna to upload the required documents for the activity change, of course. Here, you're gonna to see here how to search for adding or to remove the activity that you have under your license. In case of removing the activity, just you will go to the activity and click on remove in order to remove it from the license. In case of adding, please either enter the keyword or choose your new activity through the activity code. As you can see here at the end, there is a section search to add activity. So you have group and you have keyword. Group, you are gonna to add here, as you can see, 515255. This is the code of the companies. Okay, the code of the activities under your company. Or you can just search by the keyword and click on search to see the activity. So please note that list of activities you will get is as per your license category. After you finish, you click on save. So in case of removing the activity, like we said, you'll just click on remove. So here you're gonna to see how to add the activity. For example, I mentioned here for the group 6.1 water transport. So here you will find everything related to 6.1 and related to water transport. All you need to do just to mention here, click on the box that you require for the activity. After that, click on add license activity. Then you click on before you finalize the license, you just need to upload the required documents. Some activities you would like to add requires business plan. So you need just to upload the business plan, click on finalize license in order to pay the amount for that change. Click here on submit. You will confirm the payment here. After that, the SR will come to us in order to verify and to approve the SR to generate the license with the new added or removed activities. Another type of the amendment is the change of address. Some companies would like to move to another address, whether it's bigger or smaller. It depends on the company's choice. So here, fit out for new address must be completed prior to requesting of a change of address. The company cannot shift to a smaller office if the number of existing visa exceeds that allowed quota as per new address size. The company must ensure that their license activity can be carried out on the new property type to which they choose to shift. For example, if you have a retail activity, it cannot be carried out from any office or a flexi desk. It has to be a retail office. If you have a flexi desk, so if you have also a flexi desk, it cannot have like something activity related to physical office. So it has to be matching with your license activity and the property type that you have. DMCC will ensure that the new office is not occupied by another company, of course. DMCC will compare the size area of both offices and how many visas have been utilized from the visa quota. Now the online SR, how to raise it for changing the address. You will go to company services. You will go to licensing services list, amendments, then amend existing. Here, there are some requirements. It's required from your side to fill it out. Under the license details, of course, the license number, make sure you are selecting the license number you would like to amend if you have more than one license. Here, apply for new address on this license. You will mention yes. Please specify your license primary unit. It will be the address for the one that you are moving to, the new one. Apply for Concordia NOC, you will mention yes. In case that you're moving to a flexi disk, so NOC is not required, of course. Then you will put here your email and mobile number, and if you have any comment just to clarify something for us, please put it here in the comment box. Click on save. And of course here, this is the points that we said now. Please make sure that if you are having more than one license, you need to specify which license number you are going to amend the address. Select yes for applying for a change of the address. And here, select yes for the Concordia NOC and know if you are applying for any NOC for any SR. It means that if you applied separately for Concordia NOC, you can put here also no need to charge you again the Concordia NOC price for the 265. So if you have the NOC already applied separately, you will mention no. If not, just mention yes. This is the SR how it's gonna to be showing for you in order to amend the address. First one, it's review amend activities. Of course, you are not changing any activities in this stage, but you have to go through this one in order to save the activities. After that, you are gonna to go to the next step. It's review amend address. It's gonna to be showing like that. While you click on review amend the address, it will take you to page where you can add all details on the new unit as per the Ijari or the tenancy contract, of course, like a business center or a shared office. This step, it can be done by you. If you would like to go through it, it's fine. If you would like, we can also do it for you. So in case that you would like to proceed, how you're going to add the unit, you will click on add new address. It will be showing first box enter address details. Here, the property ownership status, it should be here leased one. You will find it in the option leased. Property type, it can be business center, it can be office, normal office. Lease start date, of course you will put the start date. Lease end date, you will put the end date and click on continue. Next box will be showing for you in order to enter the property details. Which cluster you are moving to, what is the name of the building, which floor, and what is the unit number. It will be showing after for you here. You click on save selection in order to save the unit. After that, the next box will be showing for you with the details. This is the unit number. Here, this is the land department unit, the unit cluster, the which building, which floor, what is the area size. All you need to do is to confirm and continue. After that, it will be showing the next one for you is to make the primary unit. Which unit? For example, if you have more than one unit and you would like to change the primary unit for you, you can select any one of them. After that, the next box will be showing for you for the landlord details. It will be mentioned, of course, or your tenancy contract or your ijari. You will put the landlord type. You have two types, whether the landlord is a company or the landlord is an individual. So you will put here, for example, individual, you will put full name, mobile number, and email address. If it's a company, you will put company name, email address, and the mobile number. Then click on add landlord, confirm, and continue. Next box will be showing will be the rent. How much you are gonna to pay for the rent. Rent value, you have two options, which is annual or many years. For example, if you are renewing or you have the tenancy contract for more than 1 year, or you have it only for 1 year, you will choose the proper answer here. Then you will put the amount here, how much you are paying for the rent. Click on add rent, then submit. This way, you are already have added the unit to the system. We are gonna to check everything also, and we will confirm over your choice. Please make sure to confirm the changes you are applying for, whether it's adding, removing units through the comment field like we mentioned. Please note that you cannot add a unit to your current address from a different building. For example, if you have a unit here in Almas Tower and you would like to add a unit or another office in Tiffany Tower, for example, it cannot be because it's not the same building. After you add the unit like we mentioned, you will go to the main SR page to click on submit and to confirm the payment. After you confirm the payment, the SR will be submitted to DMCC for the verification. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our session. Now we are going to move to the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Before we proceed to our next session, kindly participate in the following two polling questions to rate your satisfaction level of IAD. Okay, so we'll be now starting with the first polling question to rate your satisfaction level with IAT's knowledge and skills. So we will launch the poll now, and it will be running for the next 1 minute. So please be sharing your ratings. This will help us in improving our content and improving our presenting method for the next times. Thank you. We are still running the first polling session, the first polling question to rate your satisfaction level with IAT's knowledge and skills. So please keep sharing your things. It will improve. It will help us in the improvements. So we'll run it for another 30 seconds, and then we'll be going to the next question. Please keep rating. Thank you for sharing your ratings for the first question. Now I'll be closing the first question and we'll launch the second question to rate Ayat's clarity and usefulness of the session. And I'll be launching the second question now. Please share your ratings for IAT, and this question will be running for another 1 minute. So please keep sharing your ratings. Thank you. We are still rating Ayat's clarity in her session. So please keep sharing your votes to help us in improving for the next times. I'll keep the question open for another 30 seconds. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your votings. I'll be closing the second question so we can proceed to our next session. So now the polling questions for IANT is closed. Now we'll be moving to our next session provided by James, our trainer, to explain to you about all the process about the registration amendments. So meanwhile, Ayat will be answering all your questions asked to her for her session, and please pay attention to James' content as well, and keep your questions up until the end of the session because many of your questions may get already answered during the session by James. Thank you.
Good morning, DMCC member companies. I would like to welcome you on the webinar training for the registration amendments. My name is James Toriano from the registration amendments team of the member success department. The training will be about registration amendments, guidelines and procedures, and the step-by-step process on how to apply in the DMCC member portal. To begin with, let's start with the question, when can the company apply for registration amendments? Once a company is registered and licensed, that will only be the time that they can apply for any amendments in corporate and share structure. There are governing laws for all DMCC registered companies. These are the following: the Laws of the Land, Companies Act, Federal Law Number 8 with recent amendments, the DMCC Company Regulations, the DMCC Free Zone Rules and Regulations, and the company's Memorandum and Articles of Association. For your reference, you can check all of this through our website, dmcc.ae. Let's proceed with the next one. What are the types of registration amendments that need to be registered with DMCC? The following are the online applications that you can raise in your portal. These are share transfer, increase in share capital, decrease in share capital, change of company name, change of operating name, change of parent company name, change of financial year, the change of company officer, such as the director, the manager, secretary, and legal representative, company termination, that includes the license termination and deregistration, the change in the details of the company shareholders and the officers, such as their name, nationality, and address. There are still applications for registration amendment services that can be manually applied. These are the amendment to the provisions of the Memorandum and Articles of Association, share pledge registration, the status conversion from branch to subsidiary companies, and amalgamation. For today's presentation, we will be discussing the four topics. These are the content of the training. This will be about share transfer, increase in share capital, change of company officers, and change of company name. To begin with, share transfer, there are three types of share transfer. This is internal, transfer to a new individual shareholder, transfer to a new company shareholder. Later on during this discussion on how to apply step-by-step process in your online portal, we will discuss scenarios and examples for these three types of share transfer. Just to take note that a shareholder may transfer a portion or all of the total shares held. The minimum share capital per shareholder should be 10,000. Just to take note as well that for visa purposes, minimum share capital is 50,000. There is also a transfer from a deceased shareholder. These are the extra documents required. Later on, I will be providing the requirements for a share transfer. Now, the extra documents required for a transfer from a deceased shareholder are the notarized and legalized death certificate, notarized and legalized certificate of legal heirs issued by the competent court, notarized and legalized document confirming relationship, such as the marriage or birth certificate, notarized and legalized waiver of rights. All of the above documents should be endorsed to the Dubai court, and then Dubai court shall issue an order for the transfer of the shares. DMCC will act upon such order of the Dubai court, and the same procedure will be followed for all types of share transfer. The deceased shareholder will be represented by the legal heir or anyone declared by the competent court. Now let's proceed with the step-by-step process on how to apply online for your share transfer application. The importance of this process is that we will not be able to proceed for any verification and approval, as this particular application cannot be applied directly over the counter. So you really need to firstly raise an application online. To begin with, click the option under Company Services. Under Company Amendment Services, there is an option for Transfer Shares. In the first application page, you will be required to mention the contact details of the contact person for this application. Just to take note that if ever there will be any additional information, the contact person will receive a notification from DMCC. Mention also the resolution date of your resolution and proceed in saving your request. There is an option in your online request to amend the share capital. Click this option and proceed with your request. As mentioned earlier, there are three types of share transfer. This is internal, transfer to an individual, and transfer to a corporate entity. In this particular scenario or situation, this will be an internal transfer. And let's just say Mr. A and Mr. B are the current shareholders of a DMCC company. Mr. A has 50 shares, same as with Mr. B. Now, Mr. B will be selling all of his shares to Mr. A. So the next step that you will need to do is to add manage transfers and click this option in your online page. As you can see, there is a source shareholder, destination shareholder, the number of shares transferred, and the reason or justification. The source shareholder will be the seller. So Mr. B will be selling 50 shares to Mr. A. The destination shareholder will be Mr. A as the buyer. Mention the number of shares to be transferred, which is 50 shares, the justification for transfer, and proceed in saving your request. As you can see, the before and after shares from Mr. A, 50, from Mr. B, 50 to 0, and Mr. A, 50 to 100. Once you are done with your application, you can just proceed in finalizing your requests. Now, if in case there is only a sole shareholder and the sole shareholder will be transferring a portion or all of his shares either to an individual or to a corporate entity. So there's an option for you to choose to add a new individual shareholder or to add a new company shareholder. For this particular example, we will be adding a new individual shareholder. Once you have done clicking Add New Individual Shareholder, there will be details that you need to fill out in your online request, such as the personal details of the individual shareholder. In this particular application, there will also be a sub-service request that will be generated for the electronic signature subscription of the new shareholder. Just proceed in saving your request. The same thing that we have done a while ago for transferring a shares internally, we also need to add manage the transfer. The source shareholder will be the seller, the destination shareholder will be the buyer. Mention the number of shares to be transferred, the reason, and save your request. Once you're done saving your request, proceed in finalizing your request by clicking Finalize Shareholders. Once you're done, you will be returning to the parent SR and you will be uploading the requirements for a share transfer. You will be required to upload all the personal documents of the new shareholder, such as the passport copy, the specimen form, the KYC form. These two forms are system-generated document that will be downloaded in your online application. Proof of address is also required. And if in case the new shareholder is being sponsored by another company, we will also require a no objection certificate from the sponsor. The payment fee for this application is 4,535. You can proceed and check the amendment of your request before proceeding in submitting your application. Once your application is submitted, there will be an initial approval that would take approximately 2 weeks. Once the initial approval is done, the contact person will receive a notification that the involved party should be in DMCC to sign in our presence. The documents that need to be presented are the resolution, the passport of the new shareholder, the specimen form to be signed in the presence of the DMCC officer, copy of the proof of address, and the original memorandum and articles of association. Once the signing and submission is done, there will be an approximate time of 3 to 5 working days for us to finalize the application. Once the application is finalized, the contact person will receive a notification for the collection of the memorandum and articles of association, which has been amended, and the electronic share certificate. During the time of submission and signing of documents, we will also be doing the electronic signature subscription of the new shareholder. The total process of the share transfer would take approximately 3 to 4 weeks. Now let's proceed with our next topic, which is the increase in share capital. There are two types of increase. This is through cash injection or through a loan conversion or capitalization of profits. The same as with the share transfer, the application for the increase in share capital will fall also under company services. Just to take note that all application for the registration amendment services will always fall under the category company services. To begin with your application, to increase the share capital, click company services. Under company amendment services will be share capital, and then choose the increase or decrease shares. You will then be required to mention the resolution date, the contact information of the contact person in order for us to notify if ever there will be any additional information or for any notification with regards to the application, and then proceed in saving your request. Now, once you are in your application page, there is an option to amend your request, and this is through clicking Amend Share Capital. Let's just say there is a sole shareholder that would like to increase his shares. Currently, the shares is 300, and he would like to increase the shares to 400. You just only need to edit your application, and then mention the number of shares desired, and then save your request. As you can see, the before and after shares of your shares are the current number of shares 300, and then the proposed number of shares will be 400. Once it is done, just proceed in clicking finalize shareholders. Now you will go back to the parent SR, and you will be required to upload the requirements for the increase in share capital. These are the resolution, the memorandum and articles of association, and normally they will also ask the justification letter why you would like to increase your share capital during the time of initial approval from the compliance team. The application fee for this request is 4,535. Just proceed in submitting your request. Once the SR is submitted, there will be an initial approval that will take approximately a week. Once the initial approval is done, the company will receive a notification for the submission and signing of documents. Just like in share transfer, the involved party or the shareholder should be in DMCC to sign the resolution in the presence of the DMCC officer. The shareholder will be signing the resolution, the amendments of the MOA that will be prepared by the DMCC officer, and the MOA should be submitted over the counter. Once these documents are submitted, we will process the request. However, if it is through cash injection, we will be requiring you to state which bank you will be depositing the share capital in order for us to issue a bank letter addressed to your bank, and the bank will confirm that the company has injected a cash for the intention to increase the share capital. This bank letter should be presented or should be provided to DMCC in order for us to finalize your application. Once the application is finalized, the share certificate, the release letter addressed again to the bank, and the amended memorandum and articles of association will be issued. The approximate time of the application would take approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Now let's proceed with our third topic, which is the change of company officers. There are 4 types. This is the appointment and or cancellation of director. Just to take note that a company should have a minimum of 1 director and a maximum of 6 directors. For existing companies, they are allowed with maximum 7 directors. Please refer to the company's articles of association to confirm. Second, the change of manager. Third, the change of secretary. And last, the appointment and or cancellation of legal representative. Now, to start with your request online, again, you will choose the option Company Services. Under Company Amendment Services, it will fall under Appointments. And then the option is to appoint or change company office holder. The same thing with your previous request. If you're increasing your share capital or if you will be transferring shares, you will be required to mention the resolution date, the contact information of the contact person, and then just proceed in saving your request. Now, there is an option for you to choose either all shareholders or majority of directors. Let me just explain the difference. If it's all shareholders, this is normally for all individual owned company. But if it's majority of directors, this is from the board of directors of a subsidiary company or of a branch company. If it is an individual owned company, you can just choose all shareholders. If it is a subsidiary or if it is a branch company, then you can choose majority of directors. Then just proceed in saving your request. Now begin amending your request by clicking Amend Director, Manager, Secretary, Legal Representative. Now in this particular scenario, there is only one officer of the company, and let's just say the board or the shareholder decided to add another director. As mentioned earlier, a company can have at least or a maximum of 6 directors. Now to add a new director or a new officer, you just need to click Add New Director, Manager, Secretary, or Legal Representative. Now, in this particular scenario, you will be needing to fill out all the information of the newly added officer, such as the passport number, the nationality. Once this is done, proceed with the next one. If it is appointed as an HR signatory, there will be a system-generated self-service request for the electronic signature subscription for the newly added officer. In terms of power, you can choose either singly, jointly, or limited. If it is singly power, either one of the directors can sign. If it is jointly, and if there are two directors, then both directors should sign. And if it is limited, then you can mention or state in your resolution the limited authority or power to be provided to the added director. And then just proceed in saving your request. As you can see, there is a newly added director in your online request, and just proceed in finalizing by clicking Finalize Director, Manager, Secretary, Legal Representative. The documents to be uploaded or the requirements are a passport copy of the newly added officer, specimen form, the KYC form, the proof of address, and if in case the newly appointed director has a visa or being sponsored by another company, we will then be requiring a no objection certificate from the sponsor. As mentioned, during the time of your application, there will be a system-generated request for the electronic signature subscription. The application for the appointment of a new director is 1,535. Just to take note that there is a separate fee for the appointment of manager, which is also the same fee of 1,535. Proceed in submitting your request. Once it is submitted, there will be an initial approval that will take a week. Once initial approval is done, the company will receive a notification for the submission of documents. Unlike from the increase in shares and for the share transfer, for this particular application, we will not be requiring the presence of the shareholder if it is an individual-owned company. We will only require the original resolution to be submitted over the counter. However, the newly appointed officer or director should be in DMCC to sign the specimen form and for us to sign the original passport. Just in case that the newly appointed director cannot visit the DMCC, the specimen form and the passport should be notarized. The application period would take approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Now let's proceed with our last topic, which is the change of company name. These are the notes to consider. The change of company name will be published for a period of 14 calendar days at the DMCC website. The client has to provide 3 proposed names when applying for this amendment. You can refer to the rules and guidelines, restricted names posted on the DMCC website. Again, in your online application page, it will fall under Company Services. Under Company Amendment Services, Name Change, and then click the Change of Company Name. There is a difference between changing the operating name and the company name. So for this particular application, if you are changing the company name or the legal name of the company, you need to choose Company Name Change. And then propose 3 names as mentioned earlier and the contact information of the contact person of your application. Then proceed in saving your request. Once you have submitted your application, there will be an initial approval for the name reservation in order for us to check the availability and be able to reserve the proposed names mentioned in your application. Once the name reservation is done, we will proceed for the compliance approval and then the submission of the documents. The application fee is 4,535 and we will require a resolution in this particular application. Once the application is submitted, as mentioned earlier, there will be an initial approval. Once the initial approval is done, you will then require to submit the original resolution and the original memorandum and articles of association over the counter. There will be a publication that will take 14 days before we can issue the license, the certificate of name change, and the amended MOA. The total period for this application would take 3 to 4 weeks. So that will be it. Thank you for listening. Again, this is James Soriano, and have a great day.
Thank you all for listening for the previous session. Now we'll start the polling questions for the session just ended. We'll start with the first question, which is the satisfaction level of knowledge and skills of James. So I'll be launching the question now. Please share your rating for James for the next 2 minutes. Thank you. Please keep keep sharing your rating for the first question for the next 5 seconds, and then we'll be going to the other questions. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your ratings for the first question. We'll now move to the next question to rate James' session. In terms of clarity and usefulness, we'll have 1 minute to answer this question. Please keep sharing your ratings for improvements for the next session. Thank you. The poll is still running for James satisfaction level in form of clarity. Please be sharing your ratings for another 30 seconds. Thank you. Thank you all for your rating. I'll be closing the polling question for James now, and we shall continue to our next session. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your ratings for James. Now we'll proceed to our next session, the MCC Value Added Services, presented by our trainer Khalid. In case you have any questions related to the value added services, Khalid will be answering your questions once his session ends. And if there are any specific and detailed question, you can please refer to our dmcc.ae/help center site. You can log in from your portal for it to answer and submit to find the answers you're looking for or submit your new queries as cases. Since all the MCC generic emails were deactivated since 1st of September, I'll leave you with Khalid now for the DMCC value added service session. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Khalid Amran, and I am from the Business Development team in DMCC. And I am here to highlight some of the interesting value-added services which our Free Zone provides to its members, as we got to know that a large number of our members are actually unaware about these services that we offer. I will try to keep this presentation short and precise, as the rest of the details can be found on our website, or you can always write to us at customer care. So first of all, this is a snapshot of the DMCC portal. On the portal, you'll be able to view all our value-added services and also request for the value-added service on the page as well. We have tried to make your experience with DMCC as smooth as possible. You will be able to request for the value-added services on the page. As a member, you are invited to apply for the first ever corporate co-branded credit card with a free zone in the Middle East. In collaboration with Emirates National Bank of Dubai and MasterCard, the team has managed to pack it with features, including an online expense management tool, access to discounts of various restaurants and golf courses, cashback option based on spend, and access to over 55 international airports. But the most important feature is the option to convert any of your DMCC payments into 12-month installment plans. And also, it's a 0% interest rate, which will be very beneficial to you. This can be availed by already licensed companies. Well, at least the company has to have 1 year of proven history, such as parent company or previous company. As you may know, it's a mandatory requirement that all residents of Dubai have to have an insurance. It is a mandated law by the DHA, which is Dubai Health Authority, that the employer provides health insurance to all employees. DMCC have partnered with Insure Direct Brokers as part of a long-term strategy to enhance client services. Companies headquartered in or operating within the DMCC free zone can now source all their insurance requirements from one centralized location in Al Mas Towers. In light of the new regulations by the DHA to mandate employee health insurance for all Dubai companies, DMCC went a step ahead to negotiate and secure the most competitive packages in the market, using the free zone purchasing power of 15,000 companies. Underwritten by Daman, the DMCC health insurance solution can accommodate companies of all sizes, even with a single employee, and offers a wide variety of packages that suits all needs. For more information regarding this, you can contact the number or email us at insurance@dmcc.ae. One of the biggest challenges for many companies is finding the right talent and to hire the right people. So we took the initiative to partner with one of the most powerful recruitment sites in the region. Bait provides companies with an access to over 22 million CVs while also giving the company an opportunity to get some exposure and branding by having a corporate profile on one of the most visited websites in the region. What we have secured with Bait is a welcome package, which is totally free to any company who haven't completed their first year in their license journey with DMCC. This gives them 3 free job postings. Another customized package is the Discovery package, with also 3 listings, a 2 weeks unlimited CV for a one-time fee of $750. DMCC companies also get a 10% discount on all the services offered by Bait. The only condition is that they're a new customer of Bait. For more information or any questions, you can email us directly at dmcc@bait.com. Olive is an online portal that connects the students to top employers for internships, traineeships, part-time and full-time graduate jobs. DMCC partnered with Olive to launch the DMCC internship packages. There are 4 packages exclusively offered to DMCC members on a discounted price in order to cater to the needs of finding the right employee for this huge market. The DUNS stands for Data Universal Numbering System, known as DUNS number. This is provided to all types of legal entities and is recognized and used over by 200 government bodies. It is mostly used by the US government, major retailers, multinational firms, and is also commonly used around Europe and Asia. As for DMCC members, we have managed to negotiate and bring down its price from $500 to $110. Also, now members have an ease of applying it directly through the portal account and get their license updated with the DUNS number within 48 hours. So to get your DUNS number, you will have to go on your member portal and click on the value added services page, and on the bottom you'll find accreditation. So you'll have to click on apply now, of which it will lead you to the next page. So you'll have to fill in all the information that's highlighted in red, which is your license number and your email and your mobile number. And once you're done with filling up all information, click on save, and you will get your request will be forwarded on to our team, and you should be able to get your DUNS number within 2 days. A commemorative certificate is a display of your registration certificate that you can put on exhibit while keeping the official document secure. Depending on the option you choose, the certificate can be framed, matted, and ready to be displayed. Orders can be placed via the DMCC member portal, and the framed certificate will be delivered to your office doorstep. This process is expected to take around 10 business days. However, some delays in the post may occur depending on your location. So to apply for a commemorative certificate, you would have to go to the same value added service page, and on the bottom you'll find a tab that says admin, and on the admin you can click on commemorative certificate on apply now. So you will need to fill in the required information that is in red. Make sure you select your design type and add your portal email and add your mobile number. Click on save, and you'll be able to receive your certificate within 10 business days. A company stamp is a mandatory requirement in the UAE for each legal entity. You can now get your company stamp issued and delivered at your doorstep with just a few clicks through your DMCC portal, and you can get your stamp at a very competitive rate. So you will in order for you to get your company stamp, you'd have to go to the same value-added services page, and on the same admin tab where you have commemorative certificate, you'd find company stamp under it, and you click on apply now. And once again, you fill up all the information that is in red, and you add your DMCC license number. Ensure that you select the stamp design, the quantity of stamps you want, and the color. Make sure you select the delivery preference, and you add your authorized representative. You add your portal email and your SMS mobile number for you to get notified once the stamp is ready. And you should be able to get it within 2 working days. And click on save. With that, I conclude my part of value-added services. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to get in touch with us.
Thank you all for listening. Now we'll start the polling questions to rate Khalid's session. We'll start now with rating his knowledge and skills provided in the session. So I'll be launching the question now. It will be open for about a minute or a half. So please share your satisfaction level with Khalid's presentation skills if you like it or dislike it. That this will help us to improve our content for the next time and to keep you satisfied, inshallah. This is running session, and after the polling questions, we will continue to the last session, which will be the health insurance. So please keep rating Khalid until the 1 minute. I'll mute the mic now. So please keep rating. Thank you. So we're still running the first question to rate your satisfaction level with Khalid's session for another 5 seconds. Now we'll move to the next question to rate Khalid's clarity provided in his session to help us in further improvement. Thank you. The next question is launched. Please share your rating for Khalid's session for another 1 minute. Thank you. We're still running the polling question for Khalid's session for another 30 seconds, so please keep sharing your satisfaction level. Thank you. I'll be closing the polling question for Khalid's session to proceed with the other with the last session of our webinar today, which will be the JLT health insurance portal. So we'll be resuming in a minute. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your satisfaction level with Khalid's session. Now this is the last session, Health Insurance by JLT Insure Direct Insure Portal, presented by my colleague in Savita's replacement. There will be my colleague Rebecca, which will be presenting the session. Please keep your questions only directed and general to the session running. Any specific or detailed question or case-related question, please we're requesting you to raise the same by logging into from your member portal. Go to Help Center and raise your cases there. There is a dedicated team to answer your questions raised. You can as well find an FAQ, different types of articles, communication, member communications will be there to keep yourself updated. I'll handle the webinar now to my colleague Rebecca in replacement of Savita to complete this session. To start it, and in case you have any questions, she'll be answering your questions after her session ends. Please keep them general as discussed. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Rebecca Bleak and I manage the Insure Direct branch in DMCC. Insure Direct is DMCC's preferred insurance partner for the free zone member companies. So during this session, I will be taking you through our health insurance portal, and just to inform you, when accessing the portal, we have recently revamped the design, so you may notice that there are some slight differences in the look, but the functionalities remain the same. Okay, so in order to access Insure Portal from DMCC's portal, you can select Send Me Info on DMCC Health Insurance from DMCC's portal. Once the member selects Send Me Info on DMCC Health Insurance from DMCC's portal, they will then receive the attached notification email. To access Insure Portal, members may select the URL, which is identified at the bottom of the page, and then the member will be redirected to Insure Portal. You will then be taken to our homepage, which provides more information on our company and our services. To view the DMCC Health Insurance Scheme, the member may select Health Insurance from View Our Insurance Solutions. Members will then be directed to the Health Insurance homepage and scroll to view the USPs of our scheme, details of our insurance partner, Daman, plan and network details, and Get Quote. To view our health insurance plans and network directory, the member may either click on View Our Plans on the health insurance homepage or scroll down to view our benefits comparison table. To view Daman's network directory, the member may click here on the hyperlink. To view the full screen of benefits, policy wording, general exclusions, the member may click on the download hyperlinks and open the download document appearing at the bottom of the browser. To sign up and get quote, the member may select from either one of the following options. If the member has not already signed up to Insure Portal, they may click on Sign Up. Existing members may log in with their registered email address and password. Existing members may also utilise the Forgot Password option. Members may sign up by completing all mandatory fields as a minimum and ensuring their current commercial licence copy is uploaded, and proceed by selecting Sign Up. Once registered, a pop-up will confirm that an email to reset password has been sent to the member's registered email address. Within 2 minutes, the email will reach the member's email address. Members are reminded to check their inbox as well as spam or junk mail. To set their password, members may click on the hyperlink of the email to reset your password, which will navigate them to the Create Your Password page of Insure Portal. Members are reminded to follow the instructions when creating their password, select Set Password and log in. Once the member has completed the login, they will be directed to their dashboard. From the members' dashboard, they may edit user account and company details. To get quote, members may select Apply for Health Insurance. Members are asked to acknowledge that they have read JLT's Business Protocols document, which may be downloaded as a PDF and viewed, and also reminded that their details are stored by our company outside of the UAE. Once the member has confirmed both boxes, they may proceed to get quote. To upload members, you are requested to select one of two options. Option 1 allows the member to download our Excel template, complete and upload. Option 2 allows the member to add members manually. Members are reminded to check all pages to view their uploaded members. Once uploaded, members may edit members or add dependents by using the edit icon or remove members by using the trash icon. Members may either select the same plan for all members by checking the box and choosing the plan from the drop-down list. Alternatively, members may select the plans according to the hierarchy of the company. Members are reminded that lower tiered designations may not utilise a higher category plan than higher tiered designations. Once plans are selected successfully, members may continue. Members are reminded at any point of the quotation process, they may view the health insurance plans from the hyperlink located on the navigation panel. Members will then be directed to the health insurance plans benefit comparison table located on the health insurance homepage. Once the member has reviewed the health insurance plans, they may navigate back to their dashboard by clicking on the dashboard located at the top right-hand corner of the health insurance homepage. Once the member has clicked on the dashboard located at the top right-hand corner of the health insurance homepage, they will then be directed to their dashboard where the member may return to the appropriate stage of their quote. Quote acceptance and application submission. Members may view their quote summary. To view the premium breakdown by member, members may select Show Full Details. Once reviewed, hide full details. Members may review our Fast Track service, which offers a same-day service to process health insurance at an additional fee. Members may recalculate their quote by selecting Reselect Members or Reselect Plans to amend the previous members uploaded or plan selected. Once the member is satisfied with their selection and quote, they may proceed by selecting Continue. A pop-up will then request the member to accept quote and, if satisfied, to proceed by selecting Yes, Accept Quote. Members are required to complete 3 final steps to complete their application. Step 1, download the application documents from the download option. Step 2, complete the application documents using the instructions. Step 3, email the completed application documents along with passport photographs of the members and commercial license copy to our email address identified on the page. The member may then select Continue. The health insurance application will be complete when the application documents are completed and emailed to our mailbox for validation. The member will now be asked if we may assist them with any additional insurance requirements. Once the member selects Continue, they will be asked to rate their experience with us and then they will be directed to their dashboard. Members may track the status of their application from their dashboard or by selecting View Submitted Policy or Endorsement Requests. Once the policy status is finalised, members may then utilise the Policy Amendment Request policy action to submit member additions, cancellations and corrections. Member addition requests. From the policy amendment request policy action on the dashboard, members are directed to the policy amendment request page where they will be able to view their current policy members. Members may select Add New Member, where they will be directed to enter the member's details of their member addition request. Once the new member's details are saved, members will be directed to the Member Addition Request tab, where they can select the member to be added to their policy and select Update Policy. Members are requested to confirm the members to be added to their policy. Once confirmed, members are directed to the Plan Selection page. Once members have selected Continue, they will then be directed to the Download and Forward Required Documents page to complete their member addition application. Member cancellation requests. From the Policy Amendment Request Policy Action on the dashboard, members are directed to the Policy Amendment Request page where they will be able to view their current policy members. Members may select the trash icon adjacent to the member's name to be cancelled. Members are then requested to complete the reason for cancellation and select Continue, where they will then be directed to the Member Cancellation Request tab. From the Member Cancellation Request tab, members are requested to confirm the members to be cancelled from their policy and select Update Policy. Members are then directed to the Download and Forward Required Documents page to complete their member cancellation application. Member correction requests. From the Policy Amendment Request Policy Action on the dashboard, members are redirected to the Policy Amendment Request page where they will be able to view their current policy members. Members may select the Edit icon adjacent to the member's name to be corrected. Members are then requested to complete the reason for correction and select Continue, where they will then be directed to the Member Correction Request tab. For the Member Correction Request tab, members are requested to confirm the members to be corrected on their policy and select Update Policy. Members are then directed to the Forward Required Documents page to complete the member correction application. Tracking policy amendment requests. Members may track the status of policy amendments by either from the View Submitted Policy or Endorsement Request Policy Action on the dashboard, select Show Endorsement Panel, select Endorsement Type from the drop-down list, select Endorsement from the drop-down list, select Load Endorsement. Alternatively, from the Current Policy Members tab, from the Member Status Request column, select the Submitted Requests. Important notes. DMCC member companies having DMCC employment visas are only eligible. Dependents, spouse or children of employees are also eligible. All DMCC-based employees are required to be uploaded. When signing up, members are required to complete the company name exactly as it appears on the commercial license. For password reset, members are reminded to check their email account, including inbox spam and junk mail, for the password reset option, which takes up to 2 minutes. When selecting the plan, only lower salary band employees earning a monthly gross salary of 4,000 dirhams and less are eligible for the Essential Benefits Plan. If selecting more than one plan, plans may be categorized by the employee designation only. For member addition requests, Essential Benefits Plan members will be enrolled onto a separate policy to the Enhanced Plan members. Member addition and plan addition requests are required to be submitted as separate policy amendment requests. Fast Track service is available to groups of 10 members and fewer, providing the application is completed and submitted to our mailbox by 12 noon and subject to a Fast Track fee. To complete the application, members are required to follow 3 steps. 1. Download application documents. 2. Complete using the instructions. 3. Email the completed application to JLT Insure Direct. Thank you for your time this morning. Should you have any queries, you can send those and I will address those on priority. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. This was our last session, and now we'll be running our last 2 polling questions to rate your satisfaction level with Rebecca's presentation provided. So we'll start with the presenter's knowledge provided. So I'm launching this poll question now. Please share your ratings and satisfaction level with Rebecca's knowledge provided during the session. I'll keep this poll open for a minute so we can continue to the next and the final polling question. Thank you. We're still running our first polling question for Rebecca's presentation knowledge. So please keep sharing your satisfaction level for another 30 seconds. And we shall then continue to our next polling question for her session. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your rating for the first polling question. Now I'll close the first polling question and I'll be launching the last question. Here you will have to rate your satisfaction level with the information provided by Rebecca. So please keep sharing your ratings for another 1 minute. Thank you. The second question, the polling question, which is the last polling question, is still running. So please keep sharing your votes for Rebecca's information provided in the session for further improvements and enhancement for our upcoming session. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your votes. I'll be closing the polling questions for Rebecca. And so this is a wrap up. Thank you for attending today's webinar. You can download the handout for the session from the handout section on your right hand side, I believe, until the next 5 minutes. If you were not able to download the handout for any reason, a copy of the handout along with the webinar recording will be shared with you on the registered email used in this webinar within 1 working day or 1 to 2 working days. If you have more questions about any session provided or presented today by the trainers, or any specific questions related to specific cases you had or specific experiences you had, you are welcome to go to the DMCC member portal you have, log into your help center, submit your inquiry there, and there are dedicated team to answer all your questions. You as well can find all related FAQs, member communications, recent member communications released, any list you are looking for, just search there and you'll find everything there. It's an easy self-service platform for your use. Please, this is a reminder that all DMCC generic emails were deactivated since 1st of September. So that's why I'm leading you to use the help center for all your queries. You have a suggestion, a compliment, to raise a case, complaints, everything is there. Just log into your portal and use and click on DMCC Help Center on the top bar of your portal. And for your kind knowledge, the next webinar session will be announced by mid of October, and registration link will be shared at sufficient time prior the webinar as it was done this time. You'll be getting an invitation, clicking on the registration link, register yourself and attend the next webinar. The webinar sessions will remain the webinar sessions will be provided by trainers. Prepare your questions, and if you have extra questions, ask them on the Help Center. And kindly keep your contact emails updated to receive the up-to-date announcements, and familiarize yourself with the portal notices as well. Have a nice day and goodbye. For another 5 minutes, I'll keep the webinar on just for downloading the handout. So thank you.